Hey you guys, welcome back to another installment for my deep intense shadow work series called Real Monsters. You guys, we are in the light, so this is a minisode, and this is going to be minisode 4 for episode 4. Now episode 4 was From Whom I Came, and episode 4 was about my parents, you guys. And I swear I love my parents so much. I appreciate my parents so much for my upbringing. I really wish that I could have highlighted a lot of the great things that, I grew up experiencing. But unfortunately, the shadow work series is only about the shadow work and the things that we repressed and the things that, we really don't want to tackle, but we need to face and stuff. So I had to talk about some of the not so good stuff, you know what I mean? But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some introspection. Now, when I was recording the episode, I was nervous as hell, because, we're talking about parents. We're talking about our parents, right? And I am super, super blessed to still have my parents in the land of the living. And I know my mom supports everything that I do, so she sees things, okay? So she sees everything, literally everything that I do, she sees. And I wanted to make sure that I did them justice in their video, and I think I did a pretty good job in their video. Again, I had a wonderful upbringing. My parents sheltered the shit out of me as much as they could. I was just a really sneaky kid, okay? So a lot of the stuff I brought on myself, especially the Chancellor's Run Park incident when I was talking about my dad and how he just knocked my glasses off my face. So a lot of these instances, well, all of these instances I brought on myself, and they were justified in their discipline, how they disciplined me. I feel that they were justified in their discipline. I have no qualms about how I was reared, because it wasn't too often that my parents had to lay their hands on us, you know what I'm saying? Or me and my sister, should I say. It wasn't too often that our parents had to discipline us physically in that way. Most of the time, especially for my sister, all it took was knowing that, we disappointed our parents, and that was enough. They did, grant punishments and stuff, but as far as like whoopings and things like that, no, we really didn't necessarily get too much of those. So I really appreciate my parents for being patient as well, because they were very, very patient with us as children, especially me, because I think I was the more sneaky one. My brother was just more out there with his stuff, but I was the more sneaky one. I was the more one you had to really watch. So I think my parents did a good job with me. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is I love how I came up with the thing of my parents were two imperfect people who eventually got it right. You know what I mean? And they, over the years of rearing 3 different personalities, they figured out what works for them and what works for us as their children, and they executed. And I think they did such a very wonderful job with my siblings and I. Now I am able to now speak with my parents and stuff about the things that had transpired that I didn't talk to them about. And I mentioned that in, I believe, the very first minisode, where I said that I did tell my mom. I had to tell my mom about the series before it came out, before she saw a promo for certain things. And to be able to sit down and have certain conversations with my mom, not only about the things that happened in the past, but things that are going on now. And I just love how my mom is so super supportive. She's always there. She's always listening. She has such an open mind to me now, especially after supporting my series and really getting a deeper insight on me. I think she has a deeper understanding, and she understands how and why I operate certain ways in which I do. And so for that, I am grateful that this series was able to grant us that. I'm super excited about how my mom and I's relationship just continues to flourish. It was hard because we bumped heads a lot growing up, and me getting into motherhood and womanhood, I really feel like it just gave her such a different view and different perspective of me, and a whole different respect for me. And especially after I left my relationship, she just had this whole different window of perspective for me, and she saw some things that were worth what they were worth, for what they were. And she really began to understand me as her baby girl, and I really, really appreciate that. I can also appreciate some of the things that I learned from my parents just by experience of growing up with them, and certain things that I wanted to tweak. My parents and I'm blessed because my parents were able to rear me in such a way where I had such an understanding, and they were open to conversations, and they were open to speaking to me about anything really. I just had to get over the fear of actually going to them to speak about stuff. But to see how I came out and to see how I am as a mom. Now I do have like I say a hybrid of things, but I attribute some things to how I was raised, and I tweak some things to how my son needs his needs. And I just really appreciate my parents because they showed me how to be flexible, and how parenting is not just a cookie cutter type of situation. They've helped me so much with my child and raising my child and just being there for me. And I have like such a deeper appreciation and love for my parents. I will never put my parents in a home. I will take care of my parents. That's how I feel. I love my parents to the ends of the earth. And I just really appreciate my parents. I appreciate them being them at all times and being who they are, and just teaching me things through leading by example, to be honest with you. So much that I learned and attribute to my adulthood, I learned from them, and I learned just by watching them and watching how they operate and watching how they attack goals, and watching just how motivated they were and how driven they were. And I always had this thing where I've always wanted to make my parents super proud of me. And I really feel like as an adult, here and now, in where I'm sitting, in my energy and in everything that I am, I really feel like I kind of superseded their expectations. And I give them credit for that, because I don't think they really understand how great of a job they did as parents. And so I just want to give my parents their flowers. During this mini-sode, I really want to give them their flowers because they are definitely deserving. So I think that's all I really wanted to talk about in regards to my parents. Our relationship is super close. We're tight as glue. I love my parents so much. I appreciate my parents. There is not a whole lot of negative or bad things that I could say about my parents and how they raised us. And honestly, giving some of the examples that I did give was kind of hard, because it was like, if those were kind of like the worst of the examples of, them in parenthood. So My parents are great. I love my parents. I appreciate my parents. I have a deeper understanding as a parent of their thought processes, or what their thought process probably could have been. And I'm able to go to them to seek advice and things in regards to my own parenting, and I can trust and know that this is sound advice, and that it's from some trusted individuals. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that is going to do it for this mini-sode in regards to episode 4. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to add. I know I'm probably forgetting something, and I'm just gonna charge that to my head and not my heart. But yeah, y'all, I think we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here and call this mini-sode a wrap. So I will see you guys in the next mini-sode. I know I owe y'all some mini-sodes, so we're gonna do these things back to back to back. I think what I'm gonna do is Thanksgiving week, I'm just gonna roll them out and then push back the episode 9. So if you're watching this, you're probably watching it during Thanksgiving week. And again, I'm playing catch up. Apologize for not being able to do the mini-sodes and things, but this series was more energetically challenging, and it was very challenging for me to record, sometimes edit, and sometimes do some of the things that needed to be done in regards to this series. But I appreciate your patience. Things have been rolling out weekly anyway, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting something in regards to Ahhh Monsters weekly. So I really appreciate all the views, the support, the love, the messages that I'm getting behind the scenes and things. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate it, and I do see it. I respond to everybody. So, you know, I just really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for everything. And again, we're going to end it here.